Hi, it's TC here. Another problem come up with the Mazda 626. It's a 2001, but it hasn't got any OBD2 connector. The problem I've got, my ABS lights have all come up on the front and the traction control's turned itself off. So even when the engine's running, I've got lights all on the dash. Just there, you can just see them there on the dash, all lit up still. You've got the ABS sensor light come on, traction control is off, and the handbrake light is on. I know I've got the handbrake on, but even when the handbrake's off, the handbrake light is on, or the brake light, shall I say, is on. So, going to pull off the wheel and have a look. I'm going to check, see what fault codes come up on it. Okay, so because I haven't got any OBD2 tester, I have to use the little diagnostics socket, which is here. You've probably got one like that on your car. You need a special tool to get actually access to all the fault codes normally, but on the internet I found this picture, and it's telling me if I short out a little wire just between the second one on that line and the bottom one and switch on the ignition, the engine light will give me a flash of fault code. So I'm just going to put the wire across and see what it does. So there's my bridging wire sitting in there nicely, shorting out the second one along there and the third one along there, as it says on my diagram. And so I'm going to put the ignition on and now see what codes I get. So I'm just putting on the ignition now with that jumper wire in, and the ABS light's gone off. Comes on with a long one, that's 10. 3 short ones, that's 13. There's a long one. 2 long ones. So that's going to be 47 on that one. And it will just scroll through them again. It will just keep going through the loop. So, what that is, 13 is the rear right ABS sensor, and 47 is telling me that there's no signal getting to it. So I'm going to pull off the sensor and fit a new one. Here's the cable that comes through on his side. There's a bolt there. I've got a feeling that'll probably snap as well. And it comes down, down, and fits in at the back here. Can't quite see it on there. There it is. The bolt at the bottom, I've snapped it off. Just this now, trying to take it off and loosen it. So I'm going to take the hub nut off here, drop the caliper off here, take the hub nut off, take the rear disc off, and then drill it through from this way. And the connector for this is on the back, under the back seat. The connector here, it comes up here through the bodywork and goes up into the back seat. So I'm going to take the rear stanchion off in a minute. It's the side bit, and find the connector. Okay, so on the Mazda 626, where the side piece of the cushion is, underneath here you see the nut there, and I'm just going to remove that nut. Okay, there it is, all removed. It just lifts up once you undo the bottom bolt. It lifts up, and there is the ABS connector. I've got a new connector, a new setup, so I'm going to go and connect that and see if it shuts up my front lights. So here's the new one I've bought, £17 on eBay. They range from about £11 up to over £100 I've seen them, so it's not worth paying that much. It's a pretty good one. It said it's an OEM, original equipment one, so I'm going to fit it on, plug it in first and just switch on the ignition, see if the traction control light goes out, see if that was the problem. So there he is, connected in. Just move the old one out of the way because I have to pull that out in a moment. There he is in his little socket there. Just plugged him in. It's just sitting on the back seat at the moment. I'm just going to put on the ignition. Traction control light comes on and then it goes out, so that's showing that was the problem, so that's good. Okay, going to move the caliper here. I've taken the little clip off that slots on the back here. As you can see, it's a bit dark. It slots in there. It's for the handbrake, holds the handbrake in position. I'm going to take that off, unclip the handbrake lever there, take off the 2 bolts and take off the caliper, the brake caliper, and probably tie it up somewhere just to make sure that it's not swinging about, because what you don't want to do is put a lot of weight on the leads here, on the pipes, the brake pipes. You don't want them to start leaking. And then I'd start undoing the bolts that hold the sensor in place and take off the hub nut, take off the disc and drill it out. Okay, got the brake caliper and the harness, the 2 bolts that hold the it's like a leveler that holds the disc on. Didn't need to remove the middle hub nut. There's the sensor that's got to come out there, but I can't get into it this way with the drill, so I'm going to have to drill it from the back. I've now got to undo all the nuts that hold it in place and try and lever it off. Okay, with a bit of luck, the 2 10mm bolts that hold the bracket on are coming out. They haven't actually snapped off, so that's a bit of luck. So the only problem I got now is to get underneath. I've got to drill it from under. To get the actual sensor off, I just tapped it on the front part of the sensor and off it came. So now I'm going to try and that's a bit of sealant I put on the other day. So what I'm going to do now is try and drill that stud out that's in there. Okay, so I found a bolt that actually fits through the end of the sensor, and if you look in there you'll see a handle. I'm just tapping the thread out now so that I can actually fit the bolt in. Okay, so there's the new sensor fitted in. A little bit of sealant on the hole that came through with the drill bit. It's not touching on the teeth of the wheel there, so everything's fine. I'll just show you it there, all bolted in place with the new bolt that I tapped. Okay, so I'm just doing up the bolts that hold the case on that hold the brake pads. Okay, so it's just this piece here that's being bolted back on now. One at the bottom and then there's one at the top just here. So just bolting those back on now. Brake shoes in and tightened up. It's on a sliding bolt on the bottom one, so there's only 1 bolt on the actual case there. So that's all done up tight. And I'm just going to put the handbrake onto the latch and put the little clip back in, and that's all finished. Okay, that's the handbrake cable put back on, and the little clip that I took out originally there has been put, just slots back on and just taps on with the hammer. So that's all back on. Okay, last job is to connect the cable up, so I'm just going to pop him in now. There he is, connected up. Okay, just lay it in there behind all that. I'll put a little bit of tape across that just to hold it in place. Actually, no, it's holding. I'm going to put the side piece in here now, make sure the seat belt's on the top of it all, and then put the battery on and give it a try. Okay, so everything's back together. The battery's been put back on. I always take the battery off when you start a job. Right, switch the ignition on, traction control lights on, and it's now gone off. So with a bit of luck, we're done. So all done, apart from the handbrake light. Take the handbrake off, the handbrake goes out. So all done. That is how to check for a sensor problem and replace it if you haven't got an OBD2 testing socket on your car. This is TC saying goodbye, and have a go yourself. Bye for now.